What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. It's about to be that time.
Bro, look, he got the heat on feet, bro.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
You know, I'm starting to think that everybody in this goddamn town is a robot.
Savage.
And we're back. One Piece 1065 just came out and opened the door for a slew of new ideas, and even answered some questions, right? We were told that the Ancient Kingdom was an advanced island, an advanced race, right? And here we are on Egghead, where there are all of these advancements, and Daft Vegapunk, Shaka, the new drip god of One Piece, okay? When they make that jacket, and I know someone will,
Certified drip.
I will be there day one. I am copping that.
It will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine.
All right. I will have that jacket. Love the design. Can't wait to see it colored. More on that. He reveals that the Ancient Kingdom was much like Egghead. Now, does that mean that Shaka was there at that particular time? Does he have the blueprints? Does he know things that we don't know? But either way, he is exclaiming all of this information in a room that Robin is present for. Will we get some of this? We may. We very well may. That's not a shock, but it is a confirmation nonetheless. We have now met every single Vegapunk satellite except for the main Stella body. We meet Edison, who looks like a fusion between Elekid, Stewie Griffin, and Xeno from Dragon Ball Super. I like the design. Pythagoras just looks like a bigger version of Edison, so not much really different there. We also meet York, or Yoke, and they are essentially the sloth and glutton of the bunch. They handle the eating, the dumping, and the sleeping for the group, which confirms my theory that I've had for a while that all 6 of them would be connected in handling different parts and aspects of Vegapunk's life.
Another one.
So they basically, Multiplicity, Michael Keaton, have split up into these multiple things, but this particular satellite handles all of those things. It sleeps for them so they don't have to sleep. It eats for them so they don't have to eat. It goes to the bathroom for them so they don't have to go to the bathroom. But they all feel the same urges. They all go through the motions until York goes and handles it. And then, like I said, Drip, Sauce, Flex God, Shaka, Daft Vegapunk. Love this design. I'm on board. And he's doing the cool guy anime trope of always talking from, like, behind, but, like, seemingly asking for praise, but when he actually gets it from Frankie, it acts too cool to, you know, acknowledge it. The anime is going to have fun with that. Probably a musical stinger. I was talking about it in the stream. I think it's going to be reminiscent of the Crocus gag. There's a lot of room for some humor there. But the main thing that I would really like to talk today about, and the thing I'm probably going to spend the most time during this video, is actually the fact that the Jinbei Seraphim has Senor Pink's power. We're going to spend a lot of time dissecting this and talking about Doflamingo's possible fate, as well as the rest of the Doflamingo family, and why this makes sense. So let's get into this, right? But first, like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Here we go. Oh boy! So, Jinbei Seraphim, we knew it was coming. Love that it's this particular group fighting him, and not a mirror match between Jinbei and a Seraphim, which we may get later. But here, there's more information here, there's more confusion, there's more to gather. But the most interesting thing in this entire chapter, right, aside from the last page, like beyond the last page, is just seeing Jinbei swimming in the ground. And having Frankie say, wait, I recognize that ability, which confirms this is the swim fruit. How did this happen? How did we get here? What is the possibility of this? Fujitora. Fujitora made this happen. During the reverie, Green Bull asks Fujitora, hey buddy, how's old man Vegapunk doing, right? Anytime that we have seen Fujitora since Dressrosa, all he's been talking about is the SSG. And what was one of the, his main missions during Dressrosa also that he was talking about? Ending the Warlord system. So Fujitora is intricately tied into this whole SSG thing to begin with. But he was also there during Dressrosa and was responsible for rounding up the Doflamingo family after they were all defeated and sending them to Impel Down. In chapter 905, I believe, when we see Doflamingo, right, as we start to get the first image of Emu, Doflamingo is basically saying, oh, did you send an assassin to kill me? Now, we know he didn't die because we see him in 956. Now, if we never saw him in 956, there would be all these theories that, oh god, Doflamingo's dead. They farmed his fruit, all this other stuff. What I think here is that all of the Doflamingo family went to Impel Down, obviously including Doflamingo, including Senor Pink. And what that scene was actually detailing was someone going into Impel Down and extracting Doflamingo's lineage factor from his fruit so that his Seraphim can have the Ito-Ito, not Hito-Hito, Ito-Ito string fruit, right? I believe that Doflamingo's Pacifista is going to have Doflamingo's actual fruit. And there is just, if any of the other ones are going to have fruits as well, there needs to be some sort of thematic relevance. There's not going to just be fruits thrown around just for the sake of it. They gave this Jinbei Seraphim the swim fruit because he's a fishman, right? And we see the creativity that is going on here. Way better than what Senor Pink was doing with the fruit. Jinbei is literally turning the ground into water and then using it for fishman karate. Seraphim Jinbei, I mean. This is awesome. Really, 10 out of 10 creativity on Oda's part. We're told that the Seraphims have green blood. There's also, we spent a lot of time during the stream talking about it, but there is something on Jinbei's wrist, on his right arm, that looks like you can see almost a window into, maybe when we actually see this animated or colored in, this is a way to see that particular green blood. Now, we know that fishmen do not have green blood. Everybody, humans, fishmen, all races have red blood. But the Seraphims apparently have green blood. What other fruits from the Doflamingo family could we end up seeing? What other fruits in general could we end up seeing? This opens a host of just possibilities. Now that we're seeing Senor Pink's fruit, I'm really expecting to see a bunch of other fruits of people that are probably in Impel Down that we're getting experimented on. We could see a Seraphim that has the Mani Mani no Mi, which, if Luffy sees it or anything like that, could spur up some conversations about Bon Clay. Could Jozu, this is, tinfoil here, but could Jozu from the Whitebeard Pirates have been captured during the time skip and was hanging out in Impel Down, and then that's how we get that relevance to Das Bones' line in Alabasta. What's next for you? Cutting diamonds? Everybody thought that Shiryu would end up with a diamond fruit, kill Jozu, something like that. But if he's just captured for whatever reason and they take his lineage factor and give it to the Mihawk Seraphim, then, we're cutting diamonds. Tinfoil. Diamante's fruit could be something very useful to someone, especially defensively. I could see the Doflamingo Seraphim having Diamante's fruit if he doesn't get Doflamingo's actual fruit. Is one of the reasons why they were so adamant about capturing Hancock, because they wanted the fruit to then give to the Boa Seraphim. Did Blackbeard know this? And that's what he was talking about in particular. If the Navy is just going to take it for themselves, then I'm going to go and get it. Because he's a fruit hunter. And basically the Marines became fruit hunters as well. They wanted Crocodile so that they could give Crocodile's Seraphim the Sunasuna no Mi. But can Vegapunk actually take elements from Logia? Yes, we've seen this with Kizaru, but they get Paramecia-style versions of this. So it wouldn't necessarily be the Crocodile Seraphim turning into sand, but shooting sand out would be a possibility. Did they already get Crocodile's lineage factor while he was in Impel Down? Do they have the lineage factor for, Buggy? Because he was there as well. If there's a Buggy Seraphim, will it also have the Chop Chop fruit? Do we have Das Bones? The Dor Dor no Mi from Mr. 3? Artificial fruits real versions of them are on the table. Is Senor Pink dead was a big question in the stream. There's the possibility for it. Maybe they didn't actually kill Doflamingo because he's a celestial dragon, right? But maybe they did kill Senor Pink and farm his fruit. Maybe they did kill several other members of the Doflamingo family, and we'll see some of their fruits as well. We're doing some heavy, heavy speculation here, but this is a lot of fun to talk about. What else are we going to see? And there is a tanker behind Jinbei that says 98% on it. Now, some people were assuming that that was Jinbei's tanker. Now that's the possibility as well. Or we could see a new Seraphim emerge. That could be the Doflamingo Seraphim. Some people were saying, are we finally going to see Doflamingo's eyes? I think we've already seen them because we've seen Corazone's eyes. Just put Corazone's eyes on Doflamingo and then put little stars in them, and then we're gonna have that. But they'll probably give him like the sunglasses though. I mean, they gave Kuma his hat, so hey, they'll replicate the glasses. I think Vegapunk's got access to some drip. Will we see Fujitora this arc? Probably. I want to see Smoker, I want to see Fujitora. But here's the thing though. What is Fujitora's relationship with all of this? He wanted to destroy the warlords, but whose plan actually was that? Was it Vegapunk's? Was it Dragon's? We know Vegapunk is working with Dragon. We know that Fujitora is working with Vegapunk. But Fujitora was battling it out with Sabo, so that doesn't necessarily mean that Fujitora is a Revolutionary Army member. Quite the opposite, because he also fought the Revolutionary Army during the Reverie. Unless he's super, super deep cover. Is Fujitora Sword? He says that he wants to change the whole system, which is basically what I believe Sword to be. So it's possible that Fujitora is a high-ranking member of Sword. Unless Fujitora, like Vegapunk, is only working with Dragon, and Dragon is not telling everybody that he has an admiral in his pocket. There's a lot of things that need to get cleared up here. But ultimately, like I've always said, Fujitora in the end game of the story is not going to be a bad guy. He's going to turn. He's going to be the only admiral to turn, other than, obviously, Kuzan. We're going to have 3 bad admirals for the monster trio. We're going to have Kainu versus Luffy, maybe Sabo, while Luffy goes and fights Imu. These days, I'm thinking it's going to be Sanji versus Green Bull, so that he fights a Moss Head, and then Zoro versus Kizaru's lightsaber. Initially, during Wano, I was like, oh, maybe Zoro will fight Green Bull, Sanji will fight Kizaru, and it's a speed battle. But then the more I think about it, I think it's actually going to be the other way around. The Straw Hats are all very confused. Seeing a younger Jinbei, they have a hard time fighting it. This is a callback to Chapter 1014, Chapter 1008, Kiku, not being able to attack Oden. We see this same thing going on with Nami. She can't fight her friend. She opts not to send Zeus out. My guy Ty in the chat was asking what I thought of that, and it made me basically believe that Shaka is probably going to lock this group up. And there is a lot of battle data that is being put together by Edison. What is he going to do with it? Is he creating another robot that is going to have battle moves and can do some of the attacks that the Straw Hats showed off during that? Maybe, because these like little automatas are running around saying that Edison is about to create a new experiment. So he got some ideas from this battle, but he never saw Zeus. Zeus never came out, which means Zeus is a trump card. In the same way that Zoro and Brook hanging out on the Sunny are trump cards. The same way that Caribou getting off of the Sunny is a trump card. Because Caribou can show up at any time and help someone. If the crew gets locked up behind a room or anything like that, Nami could call out to Zeus. Zeus could essentially get a key or hit a button and free them. They have no battle data on Zeus.
See that man over there? Huh? He's got keys. Yeah. Go get those keys. Go get them. Go get the keys. Go get them. That's it? Yeah. Okay, get the keys.
This is the whole Alabasta saga with Sanji. Baroqueworks had no idea who Sanji was, which is what gave Sanji the power to move through and able to save everybody at rain dinners. Oda loves this, so he's creating a win for somebody. So it's either Zeus, Caribou, Zoro, or Brook. Now, I still believe that Zoro and Brook are going to have some sort of an interaction with somebody. Somebody's going to show up, whether that's Smoker, whether that's Lucci and Kaku, whether that's Fujitora now, whether that's Sentomaru, because I still expect Sentomaru to show up at some point because he's Vegapunk's bodyguard. There's a lot of opportunity here. When it comes to the next chapter, I'm hoping that we're getting some Void Century lore to a certain degree. I think mostly we're going to see Luffy and the gang exploring these ancient ruins, essentially, which some people were pointing out look like Elbaf warriors, but they're really like robots, but they may be Viking-inspired. There's the possibility for all of that. But rather than just having Shaka do a lore dump, it may be more interesting if we do a show don't tell situation where we find something down there, and that kind of informs what's being told upstairs as well. It makes sense to me if we see a third party in the next chapter, whether that's any of the people that I was speaking to before, arriving at the Sunny, anything like that. But we need one more plot to kind of really set the arc in motion. And that's going to really determine what's happening with Brook and Zoro's group. And then, you know, we'll be able to understand kind of the full machinations of the entire arc. And that's going to wrap things up, guys. I hope you had a lot of fun with this one. I had a lot of fun just spitballing and running down a bunch of ideas for all of these fruits that we may potentially see. Shout out to all of the members, everybody that supports the channel. Fable did a bunch of gift subs, so we do have a bunch of new members that either rejoined or joined. Shout out to Sabas Lopez, Rosie I-10, Tofu Taster, Marco, Landon, TM, Ann Arbor, Cone Killer Confusor, Mango Jammy, Kevin Abwow, Giovanni Velez, Sean McDonough, Yoda the Tweed, Spicy Kimchi E, Tage Graham, Jonathan Talley, DJ Red Comet 369, Court Prez 87, Steve Augustine, Cole Killa, Zote, Terraformin, Mental, Zachary Rauchi, Joshua Rascon, Mr. Me, Hidden Leaf Shinobi, Tristan Lewis, Assad Ishmael, What About Sumo, and Mag Mortar 182. Appreciate all you guys. I hope everybody, you know, had a chance to see Film Red by now. Hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna have a video for that. Rocky Port video is out. That's linked below. And just stay tuned. We're gonna be back here Friday for 1066. 1067, I'm expecting a big lore dump because that's 100 chapters from He Laughed. And it's also 100 chapters from the first chapter review that we did on this channel. So 100 chapters of Randy Troy coming in 2 chapters. Like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. I'll catch everybody later. Bye.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.